to them about it.
Fresh from delivering a keynote speech, here's the Treasurer now delivering a media conference.
Everybody who owns a home and everybody who rents a house. That will hurt retirees and people who are planning for retirement. That will hurt small businesses and workers in big businesses. The Labor Party's answer to the global storm clouds across the international economy is higher taxes. It's the wrong prescription and they have the wrong diagnosis. The Coalition has an economic plan that is working and we must stay the course. Well, we're watching it obviously very closely, but we will be delivering a budget that is in surplus. The first budget surplus after more than a decade of deficits. It's a product of hard decision-making, difficult decision-making over the last 5 years. We've reduced the rate of government spending growth to under 2%, 1.9%. That compares to around double of what it was under the Labor Party. And we've provided record spending for health and education without increasing taxes. Only the Coalition can be trusted to run a strong economy and deliver the jobs that Australians need and deserve. We're always conservative in our predictions around the economy, and that is what Scott Morrison did as Treasurer. That's what I'm doing as Treasurer, and particularly around some of the commodity price forecasts. We are conservative and we have delivered on the upside. Well, as the Reserve Bank of Australia said only a few weeks ago before Christmas, the Australian economy is performing well. That's the view of the Reserve Bank of Australia. But we are watching it very closely. We are watching household consumption. We are watching the property market. But what Australian homeowners can't afford is a big new housing tax from the Labor Party. What retirees can't afford is Labor's commitment to a new retirees tax. What people who are saving for their retirement can't afford is Labor's new superannuation taxes. You see, it doesn't matter what the question is. For Labor, the answer is higher taxes. We're delivering a major social dividend for the Australian economy with more spending on health and education and infrastructure without increasing taxes. Well, as you know, it was the Coalition that commissioned this landmark report from the Productivity Commission about our $2.7 trillion superannuation sector. And what the Productivity Commission found was that the existing superannuation system was not serving all members. The Labor Party seemed to rule out key findings, key recommendations of this 3-year review before they'd even read the report. What we have said is that we will study the report, we'll consider it properly, we'll look at it in the context of what Commissioner Hayne recommends when we get his final report into the Banking Royal Commission, because there are some overlap in certain areas, and then we'll respond with a formal government response. But our number one focus, our only focus, is the interest of all members. There is a lot that governments can do to stimulate growth, to create jobs. And that is what we have seen through the Coalition's strong economic management that has delivered more than 1.2 million new jobs. Let's not forget that when we came to power, unemployment was 5.7%. Today, it's 5.1%. Let's not forget that when we came to government, that growth was 2.1%. Today, it's 2.8%. Let's not forget that government spending was much higher than it is today under the Coalition. We have put in place the policies that have backed small business, the policies that have backed workers, the policies that are tackling inequality, the policies that are creating jobs and better outcomes for all Australians. What the Australian economy And what 25 million Australians can't afford is Labor's punitive, high-taxing agenda with $200 billion of new taxes. We need to stay the course with an economic plan that is working, with an economic plan that is delivering.
Warren Mundine has been installed to run Gilmore. Who's the thoughts on Warren?
Well, those issues and the selection of candidates are matters for local branches. That's one of the great strengths of the Liberal Party as opposed to the Labor Party. We attract people from all walks of life, people who want to make Australia better, but most importantly, people who believe in the values that we as the Liberal Party were founded on. Values of supporting the individual and their enterprise. Values that involve putting in a safety net for people who have a go. We put in place policies that back our values, supporting the family and small business. I'll leave those matters for the New South Wales division and for the local branches. Again, issues about who runs and in what seats are handled by the relevant state division and by the local branch members. You know, one of the great strengths of the Liberal Party is that it's the parliamentary party that determines the policies and that fights the campaigns, and it's the local branch members who select the candidates and are responsible for the organisational work. Like I said, I'll leave those. Like I said, I'll leave those matters for the Liberal Party of New South Wales, for the branch members and for the executive. Look, as the Prime Minister has said.
We'll leave it there for now. The Treasurer